The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is the Eagles Sports Network. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head softball coach Michael Graves. Michael, last year you said you were crazy for the schedule that you put together. Have you regained sanity in 2024, or are you still crazy? It might still be crazy. Pretty tough schedule in the month of February. What was the strategy setting this up for success for the postseason for the Eagles?
Well, I think it worked out well for us last year as far as making postseason, getting an early, tough schedule, and plus it helps prepare us for the conference schedule.
This year, a little bit different. Last year you were tournament heavy. This year, not as tournament heavy for the month of February, but still some challenging games for the month of February. And you start with the Florida trip, Eckerd, Florida Southern, Tampa, all in one weekend, all back-to-back-to-back. Not a tournament. You're just playing three straight doubleheaders with the three teams. How'd this come about, and what does this have a chance to give your team here in the early going?
We talked a little bit about it with another coach last year about putting the trip together and going down there, and I think there's a couple of other teams that are doing the same thing, so we're actually just rotating the schedules. But it's going to be interesting. There are three good teams. They'll be well prepared, so it's not like we can start off and not be ready to go.
Yeah, Tampa spent, I think, the entirety of last year in the top 15, and Eckerd and Florida Southern have also both been nationally ranked. You turn around from that and head back to Alabama for UAH's Charger Chill Out, which has been a pretty good event for your team these past 2 years. No-brainer to go back to Les Studemann's event?
Oh, no. Her and her staff put on a good tournament down there. It's great facilities, and like you said, we've played well down there. We seem to hit well, and pitching's been on when we've been down there.
Mississippi College, you get the Choctaws for a third straight year. You get to face Shorter for a third straight year at the event, as well as a few fresh faces. You've played UAH before. This will be the first year you play the Chargers at their own event, as well as Montevallo for the first time in a few years. Just how important, how critical are those types of games against some schools from the South region that still count in region for your team?
We actually played Alabama Huntsville last year. They beat us 1-0 in the bottom of the seventh. But Montevallo, Georgia Southwestern, that's two teams we're not real familiar with. But I know Georgia Southwestern had a pretty good year last year and beat some really good teams. So it's going to be a tough, fun weekend, but hopefully we're prepared.
Quite a bit of the non-conference schedule features teams that Carson-Newman hasn't faced in a hot minute. UNC Pembroke's on the schedule for the first time in a long time, a decade plus. Same thing for Kentucky State. You get Wheeling for the first time in school history and haven't played Southern Wesleyan in 5 years. What's the benefit? What's the disadvantage to going against some of these schools that you haven't seen, at least in your tenure as a head coach? And you got to go back quite a few years into your time as an assistant to find the last time that Carson-Newman played them.
A little more work on our part. We got to research schools. We don't have previous year's game stats and stuff to go off of. So it's challenging, but it's also fun in that aspect, getting to play new teams.
I don't know who puts together the South Atlantic Conference schedule, but it is interesting how it breaks down because last year you were on the road for the top end games against Lenore Rhine, against Anderson, against Wingate. In fact, it felt like you lived at Wingate's ballpark in the month of April and May. Did in reality, between the league tournament being there and then the regionals being there. This year, LR comes to Carson-Newman, Anderson comes to Carson-Newman, Wingate comes to Carson-Newman. All of the we don't know what the preseason poll is yet, but those are three teams that you would presume are going to be near the top of it. How vital is it to getting those crucial games at the Creek?
Well, I laugh and I say it's our good home schedule. So this is the year that if we're wanting to win the conference, it's set up nice because we got the big three at home. So not saying that the rest of the conference isn't strong because we know top to bottom, in my opinion, it's one of the best in the country.
You do say that, and I think it feels like it's been about 3 or 4 years heading into that final weekend of the season where you have some teams that could land anywhere from 11th and miss the tournament to, well, they could finish with a top 4 seed. in the league because everybody is so tightly compacted and bunched together. Just how good is the South Atlantic Conference?
It's very good every year, and I try to get the girls to understand this. Every year it seems like you have a bottom 1 or 2 team in the league that always takes a game from one of the top 2 or 3 teams. So you just can't take a game lightly. You got to be ready to play no matter who you go up against.
Given what we just talked about with those 3 typically nationally ranked foes coming to Mossy Creek, if you had to pick a game, just one doubleheader that a Carson-Newman fan could make, which twin bill do you choose?
I'd say the most entertaining and the one that we need to win for sure is the Wingate one. She returns a lot, and she's a good recruiter, so it's turning into a Carson-Newman-Wingate rivalry here lately.
All right, Michael Graves, thanks for the time. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
It's Carson-Newman head softball coach Michael Graves and the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is the Eagles Sports Network.